As a
So there's a I forget to click the recording button. So could you start it again, please? Huh?
what, sir?
Could you repeat whatever you said before?
Okay.
Please, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss polynomial linear regression. In previous two lectures, we covered simple linear regression and multiple linear regression. In these two regressions, the data set follow a linear path. That is, the variation in the data set is along some line. You can say there is the linear changes in the data set. But if the data changes in a polynomial way, then for this type of data, we cannot use simple or multiple linear regression. Just just for example, in some of real-time applications, the dependent feature may not be changing linearly when the changes are made in the independent feature or features. So dependent feature is our output feature, and independent features, these are the input features. Just like in this graph, you can observe that with the increase of the experience, there is the higher changes in the salary. So you cannot use linear type relationship for this type of data set. So we need to find out some suitable regression technique that fits with the data set in which there is no linear relationship in the independent feature and the dependent feature. So for making such a type of for making predictions for such in such type of data set, we have to use the polynomial linear regression. Okay. So let's take a look at the mathematical representation of simple linear regression. In simple linear regression, we have the equation in this form. Y equal to beta naught plus beta 1 into x1. This y is...
Dr. Ksana,
yes, please.
Lot of participants just joined right now. Could you repeat again the first slide?
Okay. So I am waiting for 2 minutes, sir. Then
it will be great help, sir. Yeah.
Let's
wait for next 2 minutes. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Meanwhile, you can tell us about our data set, like what kind of data set we are going to use, and later on we'll that will be great.
Sir, but then those students will also miss that description of our data set. So it will be better if we wait just 2 minutes, sir.
Okay, sir. Better, sir. We'll start at 5:05. Yeah, we can wait for 2 minutes. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Dr. Ksana, we can start, please.
Okay, sir. Thank you. So in today's lecture, I am going to discuss polynomial linear regression. In previous two lectures, we discussed about the simple linear regression and multiple linear regression. And in these two regression techniques, the independent feature changes linearly with respect to the independent feature. This dependent feature is our output feature. It is written wrongly, basically. Very sorry for this one. This dependent feature is our output feature, not the input feature. And this output feature changes linearly with respect to the independent feature or features. We can have one independent feature or more than one independent feature also. In some data set, the data does not change in a linear way, but it changes in a polynomial way. So for this type of applications, for this type of data set, we cannot use simple or multiple linear regression. For making predictions in such type of data set, we have to use polynomial linear regression. Just for this example, you can observe that the salary is not changing linearly, but it is changes in a polynomial form when the years of the experience of an employee increases. So for this type of the data set, you cannot fit a good line. So simple linear regression and multiple linear regression will not fit to this type of data set. So let's have a mathematical representation of first simple linear regression. We have covered this mathematical representation of our simple linear regression. In this expression, y is our output variable and this beta naught is a constant. And this beta 1 is another coefficient which will be multiplied by the input feature. So they have been expressed in a linear way. So this is our linear regression and this is the simple one because we have only a single input feature. And then we extended this simple linear regression to multiple linear regression, and we know in the multiple linear regression we have more than one input feature. In this expression we have n number of input features, and these are the coefficients which will be set by the model using the training data. And this is the new expression to you. This is the expression for the polynomial linear regression. In this regression we have the same n number of coefficients, that is beta naught and then beta 1, beta 2 and beta n. You might be observing that this x1 is same. This is x1 is square, x1 cube and then x1 ki power n. So all these coefficients starting from x1 to xn, they have been written in power of n. N is the degree of the polynomial. And the combination of these input feature, we have a single input feature here, and these these coefficients of betas, they will generate the output value. So we need to find out a polynomial for the given data. So we have you can make a concept that for the polynomial type of data we have one variable x, input variable, and we have the output variable x. But the main point is that this x doesn't fit in any line or plane. It cannot fit any plane because it is a single variable only. So it could fit in a straight line only, but it follows the polynomial changes. So we need to use a polynomial equation to represent this data. And if we have the variation in the degree, that is n equal to 2, we will be using this equation. And if n equal to 3, then we will get this type of the equation. And in general case, if n is the capital N, we will get this equation. The one point which you need to note that this x1 is the same in all the expression. So you can say in polynomial linear regression we have the single input feature. And why then one question may be in your mind, why we call it as a linear? Because the coefficients beta naught, beta 1 and beta n, beta naught, beta 1 and beta n, they behave in a linear fashion, and they use to find the value of the output coefficients. Due to this behavior, we still call it as a linear model. Okay, just from this data set, this is the data set which we shared with all of the students. In this data set, we have two features. First one is the level, and this second is the basic salary. Basically, this is the table of 7th pay commission. So we have taken the realistic data, and in this pay commission table we have total 19 entries starting from the level 1 up to level 19. So this is the basic salary of the employee entering at level 1. This is the basic salary of the employee entering at level 2, and the same follows. So if we plot the scatter diagram between these two features by using a linear equation and the polynomial style, you can observe that the line which we want to fit is not fitting according to the data, because there is a large error for most of the samples. So these total 19 samples we have. So this model will not be acceptable to anybody, because it will not be performing using this line. So we need to find out some polynomial equation. So this is one of the polynomial equation which we have fitted to the given data. I will show this fitting programmatically. Okay. Let's start with the programming part first, and then we will cover the remaining theoretical points related to the this polynomial linear regression. Okay. So firstly, we will include the required library. So we need to include NumPy for the operations, and we need to include, oh sorry, is it sir, is it visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay. So first part of the program will be to include the required libraries. So we will include NumPy, Pandas as PD, and this matplot library .pyplot. This is the sub library of this main library, matplot library, and we have given it a name PLT. Okay. So right. So we have first, after including the required libraries, we will load the data set in our program. So to load the data set, we have again used the same function, same method, which is available in Pandas read_CSV, and this is our library. This is our CSV file name. So we have printed the data also, and then after printing the data, one column I have stored in the X variable. This is for the input data, and the second column we have stored in the Y variable. Now we will okay, so this is the diagrammatically relationship between independent feature and the dependent feature. So you can observe that we cannot fit any line to this data set, because the variation in the data set, or you can say in the value of the output feature with respect to the input feature, is polynomial type. So for this purpose, we need to give two parameters first. First is the input parameter having the input feature, and second one is the parameter containing the output feature. And this is the color parameter, which you can change. Whatever color you want, you can pass it here. And then after it, to make the graph more readable, we can give the name to the axis. X-axis has been named as level, and Y-axis has been labeled as salary. Then we need to call the show function to actually show the graph on the screen. Otherwise, it will not be shown to you. So after creating the PLT reference variable to this sub library, that is pyplot, we need to write at least these 4 lines. First, we scatter is this, the data will be shown in the scattered line only, scattered points only. They will be shown as a points only. So after this, we need to include a library, another library, which is the part of the sklearn pre-processing polynomial features. So what degree of polynomial we want to be set with our data? We need to pass it as the object of this polynomial feature. Polynomial features is a class, and we need to create its object, and it take one parameter, which is the degree of the polynomial. So after creating the object of this polynomial features class, we need to transform our data. So this is our data, which was stored in X, and you can observe that X has value 1, 2, 3 up to 19. So this is the transformed data. So for using a polynomial regression, we need to transform our data, and we need to fit the input data in some of the polynomial. So we have taken the polynomial degree 2. So let's discuss with the slide first. So if we take the polynomial of 2 degree, we will get this type of equation, and you can see our data will be fitted in this equation. So for the first part of the equation, we have no x variable, so it will be 1. And for this one, we have the x as it is itself, whatever value of x it is there. And for the third part, we will get the value of x square. As you observe from this one, we have 1 here. So this is for the beta node, sorry, and this.
Dr. Sana, I'm sorry. Could you
Yes.
repeat it, sir? Like this is a
Yeah,
request.
yeah. Okay, sir. Okay. Okay, sir.
From the where you have picked the data. Yes, from here. Yes.
I have taken the data from the site of ministry, website of our ministry. This is the same matrix which was used in the 7th pay commission.
Great help, sir. Just repeat the code. Yeah. Thank you.
Right. So if our data doesn't fit in a linear equation, then we need to search for a polynomial degree equation. So we will try to find out the best polynomial which will fit our data. So we will play with the degree of the polynomial. If we have taken a polynomial of 2 degree, we will get this type of equation. That is beta naught plus beta 1 into x1 plus beta 2 into x1 square. Okay. So the first part of this processing will be to transform the data into a polynomial type. And for this purpose, we need to use a class which is the polynomial features class. And this class is the part of this sublibrary preprocessing, and which is itself is a part of sklearn library. Okay. Yes, dear students. Geeta, are you people getting?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I am revising these 4 lines to change the data, to transform the data into a polynomial type. We need to create the object of this polynomial feature class. So firstly, we will need to import this class in our program. And this class I told you earlier is a part of this sublibrary preprocessing. Okay. So after importing this class, we will create the object of this class, and we will store in some variable. I have named variable as object obj and taken degree as 2. So this is my object now. By using this object, till these 2 lines, we have done nothing with our data. So there is one method associated with this object, which is fit underscore transform. So this method will fit our data into a 2 degree polynomial in this style. We will get the transformed data and need to store it in some other variable name, which we have taken as x underscore transformed. And when we print this x underscore transformed, we will get this data. Our first data is 1. 1 is 1 itself. This one is for the beta node, sorry. And this is for the beta 1. This is for beta 2. You can say third column is the square of the second one. Okay. Because in that expression, you might have noted that we have x1 square as the third part of our expression. Is it okay? So this is the transform data basically. So one point which you should need to know that if we want to use a polynomial regression, firstly we will need to transform our data into a polynomial type. And how many columns will be there, that depend upon the degree of the polynomial. So if we take 3 degree polynomial, then it is our data, second row data, it is its square and its cube. 3 square, 3 cube, like this. So the transform data will depend on the degree of our polynomial. Is it okay, bacho? Yes, please. Okay. Then after transforming this data, what we need to do? We need to call this linear regression class, which is the part of linear underscore model sublibrary, and this sublibrary is the part of sklearn library itself. So after importing this class, we will create the object of this linear regression class. So now the object has been created and stored in the model variable. After creating the object, we need to fit it with the data. And there is one change here again. We will pass the transform data only, not the original data. So now your model has been fitted in according to this new data, which is the transform data, and it has been transformed using some polynomial of degree 2 and the output data, which is stored in the y variable. So you are not supposed to use this input data, original input data. So after fitting the data, we will predict the transform data itself. One point which we need to know, that this data is just 19 records only, and each of the record has the different data basically. Okay, so there is no need to divide the data into training and splitting part. So we will be using all data for the fitting purpose and all data for the testing purpose, because each of the record is unique. Each of the record tells the salary of the levels: level 1 salary, level 2 salary, level 3 salary. So if we skip some of the rows, then the information will be missed. In our previous programs, I just divided the data into data sets, training data set and the testing data set, just to show you the thing. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So after predicting the data, we are supposed to plot the relationship between the actual data and the predicted data. So this is the relationship between the actual data and the predicted data. These red dots shows the actual data, and this data which will be lying on this curve is the predicted data. So you can say any point. Suppose you want to predict the data for 10.5 level. So that data will be like this one here. It will lie on this point here. So you might be noting that there is some error, still some error is there but that error is very small as compared to the error produced by the linear regression, which I shown in this slide. So you can observe that if we could be using linear regression, then we will be getting large error. But here for the this degree 2 polynomial, we are getting a very small error. So you can play with the degree, you can vary the degree, and you will get different type of the predicted data. So this is the point of this is one point ki how what type of degree will fit to our data set. So this I have told you also that if we take the 3 order degree, then with this expression we will get, and this is the line which will be, this is the curve basically, this is the degree 3 degree curve basically, 3 degree polynomial. And any data, if you want to produce the data, predict the data for 4.5 scale, then we will get the data here. Okay, but still some error is there for the polynomial degree of order 3, and we can minimize this error by increasing the degree of our polynomial. Okay, and this is the case for 4th order polynomial. You can observe that these points are now closing very close to this curve. Okay, so if I change degree of the polynomial here, I am getting the large size of transformed data. You can observe it is 2 की power 2, 2 की power 3, 2 की power 14 like this. This is my third row having 3 value, 3 square, 3 cube, and 3 की power 4 like this. So now you can observe that when I change the degree to order 4, there is the big variation in this predicted data. And this polynomial is also changed. This curve of the polynomial is also changed. So this I have told you the steps of the implementation. Firstly, we need to import the required library, and then we need to load the data, and we need to divide the data into input data as well as output data. Is this point is clear to everyone? I location, I am going there only. This point, is it okay? Basically what this line tells to us, this is our data set, and this is the I location function method, and we need to pass the index of our row as well as column which we want to pick up from the data set. This column means all rows. This is for the all rows, and this is the for the column. So in this expression we have specified starting from 0 and up to 1. In this value, the last one will not be selected. It means we are going to exclude the second part. It means the one will not be taken. The column number 1 means the column indexing start from 0. So we will take the first column here only, and it is 1 to 2. Then we will be selecting the column number 2. It means this is my column number 0. This is column number 1. So 1 will be selected. 2 will not be considered here. The last point, if it could be 4. For example, if we have 5 column in our data set, then this 4th one will not be taken. It will start from 1, 2, and 3. Last will not be considered. Okay, and then this value, this is the attribute, this is the feature of this data set. It will convert the data into array type. You can observe this one. This is array type here. Is it okay? Scattering of the data, input data versus output data, and these are the labeling. This I have told you, and this point also covered in my program. and this data we need to pre-process. That is, it means we need to fit the data in particular polynomial of any degree. This I have also covered. Okay. So after comparing the, after fitting the transform data in a model by using a particular degree polynomial, we need to analyze the data.
So how we decide for a degree? Excuse me, sir.
This I am going to tell you. I am going to discuss this point. Suruchi, sorry.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So you might be observing that there is the error, and the error is either increasing or decreasing depending upon the degree of our polynomial. So there is the need to analyze the error. So to analyze the error, we need to decide some matrix. First matrix is the mean absolute error. This one is the mean absolute error. So what we are doing in this matrix, we are taking the difference of the original output value and the predicted output value. This is my original output value. And this second part, it is the predicted output value. Okay, this is the predicted output value. And this is the absolute function. Okay, and we have the loop on the j. This is the summation function, j from 1 to n, and n is the number of rows. Number of rows in our data set. If we, in our example data set, we have 19 rows. So we will find out this difference 19 times, and then we'll sum up all those 19 difference, and then we'll divide that number, that sum by 19. So that number will give us the mean absolute error. Okay. So this is one metric which we can use in the analysis of the error. And the second metric is mean square error. The same yi and yi dash, this small I and capital I have the same meaning. This is my, you can say, this is the original data, this is my original data value, and this is the predicted data value. And in this expression, we have taken the square because we cannot take the error as it is. Why we take this absolute difference or the square? Because if one row is giving 3 error and the second one is giving -3 error, it will cancel out the error. So we need to have either absolute of the difference or square of the difference, so that every error will contribute in the total error. Okay. And the third metric which we can use for the analysis of the error is the root mean square error. So in this error, we are using just mean square error and its root. And it should be clear from its name, it is the mean square error. So firstly, we will find out the error. What is the error? Can anybody tell what we call an error? Yes, please. When we term it, when we designate something as error.
So the difference between the actual value and the predicted value.
Right. So we have basically two sets. One is the output set and second one is the predicted output set. Okay, good answer. So firstly, we will find out the error. Then second term is square. In the MSc, we have the second term as the square. So we will do the square of this error. So by using this power, we have taken the square of the error. Okay. And then we need to take the mean. Mean means average. So how we find out the average? We sum up all the differences of the square differences, that is squared error, and then divide it by this number. Okay. So you can use this term only to define the expression mean square error, and this is the root mean square error. It means it is the square root of the MSc. MSc is a metric which is used in many different type of techniques. In many different areas of science and engineering, we use the mean square error, and many of the metrics have been also derived by using mean square error. Okay. Okay. So next is how to implement these metrics in our Python language. So to implement these metrics, to include these metrics in for our data set, we need to import one library, and this library is the matrix library. The name is the matrix itself, and this library is the part of sklearn module. Okay, so we need to include matrix in our program, and this library has many methods. It has the methods for mean absolute error, mean square error, root mean square error itself, and but it doesn't have directly root mean square error. So we need to use the feature of this numpy. So the name of the method which will be used to find out the mean absolute error is the mean underscore absolute underscore error. And why we have used this y and y1? What is our y and what is our y1? Who will tell me?
Y is actual value and y1 is predicted
value.
Okay, good. So we have taken this y in the program. We have taken y as the actual output basically, and this y1 is my predicted output. The difference you need to observe in comparison of the previous two models. Now this model predicted takes the transformed input data. Okay. The same treatment we give to with this mean square error. We pass y and y1. Okay. Matrix is this one. Matrix is this one. So by importing the library, you can pull the methods by giving its name itself. Matrix what this is. Okay. Is it okay, बच्चों? Yes. Geeta,
Okay, sir.
Okay. And in the last statement, what we are doing? Last print statement.
Sir, value.
No. Okay, chal. Okay, you tell. You are not audible basically. Speak somewhat loudly. Suruchi.
Yes, sir.
Suruchi, what this line is telling to us, last statement.
So this is telling the root mean square error. How to apply root mean square.
Okay.
Root mean square, the
So-
RMSE. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So what is this one? This part basically.
So this is like, sir, numpy dot like sqrt means RMSE, root mean square error.
Okay. Very good. So this is it means square root is some function defined in NumPy.
Yeah.
SQRT is the function defined in NumPy, and this is the input data to this square root up to this one. Right? Okay. Right now up to this point. So we have a passed matrix dot mean underscore square underscore error to this np dot square method. Okay. So let me to execute these 4 statements. Okay. So what is this first one? This first one is the mean square error, mean absolute error. So you can say that the mean absolute error is 4524 something, and the mean squared error, it is the square of the error basically, so its value is very large. So its value is something 28 lakh, I think 2 crore 83 lakh 97 something. Okay, and this is the square root of this value only. This is the square root of this value only. Okay, and this case is a 4 degree polynomial of degree 4. So if I change polynomial degree to 2, then I will have to re-execute all these lines. So now you can observe that in place of 4500, it is 5600 now, and this value is around whatever it is 473. In case of polynomial degree 4, it was 25 something here. So are you observing the difference? Yes, please. So this is the difference of the degree of our polynomial. Okay. So if till this point you have any doubt, we can discuss.
Participants,
Yeah, yeah.
any question, please? You can
Degree of
raise your
4
concern.
is, yes sir, so means degree of 4 is good for this data. I mean least error is the observable. Yeah.
Okay. Basically, this is your observation. It is a good observation. Suroju, it is a good observation. But
Yeah.
if any of the participant has any doubt till this slide, any question?
No question so far, sir.
Sir, what is the difference between fit transform and simple fit method?
No, simple. Basically, simple fit method fits the input data directly. Okay. This fit method fits the data directly without any transformation. Right? But in case of polynomial regression, we need to convert the data. So our data will be converted by using some polynomial of any degree, like degree 2, degree 3. So this fit underscore transform method is converting the input data into some other format like this one. So you can say our data was 1, 2, 3 up to 19. So it has been converted in this format. This is the transform data. So now the number of rows, the number of columns have been increased in our input data. You can observe this one. If the degree of the polynomial is 2, then we will have 3 columns in our data set. If the degree of polynomial is 3, then we have 4 columns in our data set. So you can say the data has been fitted according to the degree of the polynomial. Okay, right? And this fit method will train the model. See, there is a big difference in both the methods. This fit method is changing the data only, while this fit method is training your model. So it is taking two type of inputs. First is the transformed data, and second one is the original output data, which is in Y, capital Y. Is it okay? Yes,
Okay,
please.
sir.
Okay, Saket, okay. Any other question, please? Yes. Why leave students? Otherwise, I will start asking to you. No question. So let's change the degree further. For example, if I convert the degree to 3, then how many columns I have in my transform data? This is my first column, second column, third column, and fourth column. And if I re-execute this one, and final predicted output is this one. And you can target the last part of the program. Now the output data is 5167. Here we have 441539334, and this is squared. The RMS is 6445. Okay, are you observing some difference in comparison of degree 2? Okay, बच्चों, is it okay? Okay, let's change the degree to 5. So now I have 6 column in my transform data, and these 6 columns will be used by the fit method to make the model. So accordingly the model is changing. Predicted data is also changed, so we need to execute all statements. This output is also changing. This is also changing. You can observe now the graph is passing very close to all samples. This is very close to all samples, you can observe. Now the difference has further increased. It is 4768 for the degree of for the order 5, degree 5 polynomial. Is it okay? So what you are need to do basically, are you getting some point related to this degree, selection of the degree? So what degree will be the better one? Dr. Amit, बच्चों, I am just coming within 5 minutes.
Sir, बोलिए.
So I am taking 5-minute break.
Okay, okay, sir. No issue, sir. Dear participants, you can post your queries in chat box, or you can ask the professor directly. There is no issue. Thank you much for your cooperation. Dr. Kasana, can we start? Dr. Kasana, are we starting right now, sir?
Yeah, we are starting, sir.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay. Suppose we want to predict the output corresponding to some level. You can say that it takes around 8 years to move from one level to another level. Suppose one employee is at level number 4, then he or she will have to work on this level for 8 years. This is my assumption only, or government assumption you can also say. And it will take these 8 years to move from level number 4 to level number 5. And we want to predict the salary of this particular employee after is working since 4 years on level number 4. So after working at a particular level for some fixed number of years, what will be his salary? This we want to predict. Okay. For example, if the employee was at level number 8 and after 4 years, we want to predict what will be his salary. He is at level number 4 since level number 8 since 4 years. So after 4 years, what will be his salary? This we want to predict by using the polynomial linear regression model. So for this purpose, what we are supposed to do, we need to call the predict method of our model, and we need to pass this 8.5 input value. But keep in mind, we cannot pass input data directly to the predict method in polynomial linear regression. So we need to convert it into the transform data, and this data will be converted into the transform data by using this function fit underscore transform function. This I have told you. Okay. So you cannot pass this input, this 8.5 directly. And let's check what is the output. So this is the output corresponding to 8.5 input. This is 48,365 and 59 paisa, you can say. Or 60 also, if you want round off it. Okay. So now let's go to the data set. So what we have done, right, this one. So after 8th level, at the entry of the 8th level, its salary was 47,600, and our model has given that after 4 years his salary will be around 48,365. Right, you can say this is between this data and the lower data of the next level, right? So and now let's check what is the effect of the degree on this output. If I change degree to 6, then what will be the impact on this one? Okay, some error is there because I have executed single column only. Okay, now you can note that with the increase in the degree, its value is 47,000. So let's check with the lower degree. If the degree is 4, then it is over down. So at order degree 4, it is 46, 258, 228, and at degree 5, I think it was 48,365. So what you can conclude that for the given data set, let's try with the other degrees also. What about degree 3? Okay. So at order degree at degree 3, its value is I found better. 49 to 48. Let's try with degree 2 also. Because you have to optimally select the value of the degree of polynomial. Are you observing? Okay. Now for order degree 2, it is again down 47881.85. So, my dear students, what is the observation? What degree you would like to select in this case? Yes, please. Saket, which degree is better for this example?
Sir, degree 5 should be selected
Why degree 5?
because it is giving data accurately, more
No,
accurate.
let me to check again. 5. So degree 5 is giving 48,000. Right? Degree. Yes, please. What is the issue? And for the degree 3, it is 49,348. So which degree we should select? Saroti?
4.
हाँ जी सही है कौन सी डिग्री सिलेक्ट करेंगे आप May I need to execute the program again? Yes, सुरुचि कौन सी डिग्री सिलेक्ट करोगे आप
करेंगे आई थिंक 4 में कम एरर आया था
4 में कितना एरर आया था 4 में कम एरर नहीं आया था 4 तो बिल्कुल ओरिजिनल के पास थी It means कि after 4 years of job there will be very small increment in the salary of the employee. Just go to the data set.
ओके
Even no. 4 was very bad one basically. It told us that the salary of the employee will be 46,000. It is lower than. इसका मतलब है सैलरी घट गई है उसकी. Right na? After doing a 4 year of job, his salary is not increased, but it is decreasing. It is 48,000 something. 48,228. राइट ना जबकि सैलरी क्या होनी चाहिए थी बढ़ेगी कुछ तो बढ़ेगी ना आर यू गेटिंग माय पॉइंट साकेत
ओके ओके
Yes, sir.
तो कौन सी डिग्री ले साकेत one minute just I am repeating for degree 2 let's revise it again let's execute the program again for degree 2 so for degree 2 it is 47,881 right while for degree of order 3 or 3 degree it is 49,348 and then degree 4 it is 46,000 degree 6 degree 5 it is again less than the value given by the order 3 degree 3 let's try with the higher degree you have to try for the many values for of your degree right? Let's try with 8. So it is again giving you 48,000. That is close to the degree 5. So what you are supposed to do, you have to observe for all degree of your polynomial. Then you will select the best one, right? And one more point which you need to check. This is for one level only. So you need to check for all type of level. It may be that this degree is any degree is not performing for this level, and it may be performing better for all levels. So you need to take the average of these errors, not for a single instance of your data. You are not supposed to decide, but you need to check many degrees for all samples of your data set. Okay. So for real time application, what you are supposed to do, you predict your data for a particular degree and then store in some Excel file, and then after storing the data for many degrees, you decide your degree. You decide the degree of the polynomial. Is it okay? Yes, please. हाँ जी बच्चों,
Yes, sir.
आगे.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's compare this model with a simple linear regression. One question I am asking you, can I use a multiple linear regression for this data set? You type the answer in chat box. Can I use a multiple linear regression for this data set? Jyoti knows. Good. But what is the reason? Jaspreet Kaur answer is okay. Pramod Sharma okay. Manjot Singh Suri okay. Right. Vinayak answer is good. We cannot use multiple linear regression because output feature is one feature only. We have a single output feature. Good Jyoti, good answer. Right. Varnika, okay. Single O, what O, yeah? What do you mean by O, single O? No, Ira, answer is wrong. Need to check the input data, not the output data. To select a simple or multilinear regression, Ritik answer is okay. Yeah. Our output variable depends on single input. So we cannot use multiple linear regression. Sagar Mehta, it is okay. Okay. So let's try to use a simple linear regression for this data set. I will create the another object of this linear regression. Oh, I have fitted my data. So one difference you might be observing that we are passing X and Y to simple linear regression. Is it okay? Okay. So, what value is predicted by the linear regression? It is 73,356. Okay. Now let's check it with our data set. Okay. So what linear regression is telling to us that at the level between 8 to 9, the will get the salary more than the level number 11. Oh, the salary predicted by the simple linear regression is more than this level number 11. It is 73,000. You can say it is close to level number 12. Is it okay? Type of model is okay.
No.
Is
You can
this
put in chat box. Okay.
why it is not okay? Because it is totally wrong prediction. Can you try to find out the answer why linear regression is not fitting to this type of data set? Yes, error is very high. Not high, very high, you can say. It is impossible type of thing which is predicted by the linear regression. Okay. So by this way you can compare your model with the other models, different type of models. Other models which have been proposed in the literature by some other authors. So this style is used to compare the models by taking same input data and the same data set which is used to train the model. Yeah, it is predicting the data on the basis of the linear equation, and many of the real-time application linear equation doesn't fit well. Why it doesn't fit well? Because when the level increases, the salary of the employees increases highly in comparison of the employees of the lower level. जो लोअर लेवल पे एम्प्लॉय होते हैं उनकी सैलरी कम बढ़ती है, तो ज्यादा लेवल पे होते हैं उनकी सैलरी ज्यादा बढ़ती है. So there is no linear relationship in this type of data. Right? And one question I am asking you again, why we call this model as linear? You type your answer. Try to answer this question, why this model is also named as linear type. What degree? Tvc Sharma, what degree? No, Manjot Singh, you didn't listen my point when I started with the this linear regression. No, wrong है wrong. Visakha wrong answer है. Single input के लिए simple is the best word. Let's go to the model again. See, what is our model? Polynomial regression equation is of this type. Okay. So these are our coefficients: beta naught, beta 1, beta 2, beta 3, beta. They behave in a linear fashion. They behave in a linear fashion. Independent variable is one, but you can say in this way, this input, this equation still is written in the linear form, linear type form, right? Not due to this one, but due to this beta 1, beta 2, beta n. They have been arranged in a linear fashion. Due to this behave, we call, you can say, but here we have the power of x, na? We have not single x, we have the power of x. So it is named linear due to these coefficients beta naught, beta 1, beta 2, beta n. Okay. अदरवाइज तो क्या है, ये जो पावर है 2 की x पावर 2, x1 पावर 2, x1 पावर 3, x1 पावर n, इट इज नॉट फॉर द लीनियर टाइप बेसिकली. तो लीनियर का जो नाम दिया गया, इट इज ड्यू टू दीज रिलेशनशिप ओनली, बीटा नोट, बीटा 1 एंड बीटा n. ओके, let's start with some new topic and then we will have more questions from my side. This I have told you. Okay, now let's discuss one more point related to the categorical values. How many categorical, what are the types of the categorical values? Three. Which three? दीपांशु शर्मा, कौन कौन सी 3 है भाई? हाँ, राइट, दिशा इज ओके, पल्लवी मलिक ओके, वेरी गुड, गुड आंसर. संकेत, आंसर इज रॉन्ग. Yeah, both you need to write basically. Good answer, very good. Karthik, Ira Sharma, answer is good, answer is right. जसप्रीत कौर, आंसर इज ओके, ठीक है बिल्कुल. Who said this 3? Dipanshu Sharma, it is not 3, it is 2. Right. Okay, so we have two type of categorical values. One is the nominal. What nominal specifies, and second one is the ordinal. Yesterday we discussed one data set in which there was one column, it was city. So city column belongs to which category? City column belongs to which category? Okay, Saket, answer is okay, good answer. Varnika, answer is good. Yes, Dipanshu. Yes, Ira Sharma. So the city column which we discussed in yesterday lecture, it belongs to nominal categorical value. It is of nominal categorical type. Tarun Bhatia, okay. Akanksha Pandey, correct answer. Okay, so I'm just revising the concept of nominal. In a nominal data type, we cannot define any order. Just like for the cities, like Oslo city is of a nominal type. Can you give a okay? Can you give another example of a nominal data type? Gender, right. Because for that gender data type, we will have two values, male and female. So we cannot define any order between male and female, right? You cannot say that females are greater than male or reverse to this one. Okay. So this is also nominal type. Okay. Let's start with the ordinal. So ordinal example is you can observe colors, right? Good answer. Here colors, right, good. Color is also nominal type. You cannot define any ordering relationship for color. Country, it's okay. Good, very good. Good example, Dipanshu Sharma. We cannot define any greater than relationship or lesser than relationship for countries. City Someriland, city is right. Okay. So for the second type, ordinal type, then we can define the order. Can you observe from this data set which is of ordinal type? Qualification, Sanket, right, bilkul. Gender, this is of nominal type and this is of ordinal type. It means we can define some order. Age is a numerical number ना. Numerical में तो आप define कर ही सकते हो सीधा कौन सा किससे greater than है. You just target the string type data. जो न्यूमेरिकल डेटा होता है इट बिलोंग्स टू टू कैटेगरीज आइदर डिस्क्रीट और कंटिन्यूअस सो वी टॉक व्हेनेवर द डेटा इज इन द स्ट्रिंग फॉर्मेट so it either belongs to the nominal type or ordinal type in our data set we have the qualification column and we have three qualification bachelor master and PhD. So now I will tell you how to handle this type of column in our data set in our program because your machine learning model will not take it as it is. And this is the ordinal type example. Yesterday we covered nominal type. Okay. So after this one we will have covered both type. One point will be after it that will cover in the next lecture. Okay. Right. So for this categorical value of ordinal type, what we have done basically, initially we have stored the data in this data frame. Data is stored in the demo.csv file which was shared with all of you, and then now the data is in the data frame named as DF. This is my data frame. Okay. This is my data frame. So all data of Excel file is now in DF. Right. So in the first statement, we have just printed the data frame, and this is the actual job basically, which we need to do. So this is the part of the data frame, one attribute of the data frame, qualification. And this is a function in pandas categorical. This is the function of pandas library whose name is categorical. So we have called this function and this function is taking three parameters. First is the parameter which is to be processed, whose category we want to convert basically. Okay. And what are the values of the categories given in our data set? We need to specify. So we have bachelor value, master value as well as PhD. And order we need to give basically. So ordering will start with the bachelor. Bachelor will be given 0 value and master will be given. Countries is ordinal. Why countries is ordinal? We'll discuss in the end, Saurabh. Okay. and PhD will be assigned value to value. Okay, and in the next statement we have just printed it. Let us start implementing this one also. So what we have done, firstly we have imported pandas, then df equal to pd dot read underscore csv. The name of the file is demo.csv. So if we print this data, print df, the data is printed here, right? So the next statement will be bachelor, master, and the last one is PhD. Ordered equal to true. So this true you need to write as it is, T capital. Okay, because this is a case sensitive language, right? And let's print again our data set. Okay, there is no change still. So after this one, what we need to do? Okay, let's print the qualification itself only. Let's remove this first print statement. So what you can observe basically, it had categorized in this way. It has taken 3 objects and the D type, data type of this qualification has been converted to category. So this categorical function has converted the data type of the classification attribute of our data frame to the category. And we have three type of the objects, and this is the ordering. Bachelor first, it means it will be assigned 0 value. It will be master, then which is greater than master, it will be assigned value 1, and PhD it will be assigned value 2. So this is the effect you can note with your qualification attribute. And after it, we need to carry out one more operation. And now print this qualification. So this is the difference. Now the first column was master, so it has been assigned value 1. Then it was bachelor, it is 0. Then it was master again, and PhD 1, 2. So this is the effect on the qualification attribute of our data frame. So if we print df, so this is our final df. So now we have removed the qualification, we have removed bachelor, master and PhD from the data frame and have placed 0, 1 and 2 in place of those string values. Okay. So for this purpose, we will have to use these two methods. One is the categorical and this is the codes conversion. Dot cat type and then codes. So category wise, we have this cat attribute and then this codes. So finally, they have been converted into the particular codes by this statement. Okay, and what this statement did, it converted the type, basically it converted the type to classification attribute. Okay, so in yesterday lecture I told you how to handle a nominal type data, and in today we covered ordinal type data. And one more point which you need to note, both operations, both type of operations we carry out using the pandas library. See, this point you need to note, or nominal as well as ordinal, which we covered in our lecture, they have been covered by using the pandas library. Okay, we have some other library also. sklearn also has its approach, right? So we have the different approaches. Basically these are the different libraries, and some of the libraries have same methods which are also provided by the different library. Okay, so you can use pandas to handle this nominal as well as ordinal directly, because it takes less number of statements to complete some job. Pandas में क्या है, you can directly write 1 or 2 lines and then get your job done. Okay. SK Skykit, SK शॉर्ट फॉर्म है, स्टैंडर्ड नेम बना रखा है वैसे तो अब लोगों ने, Skykit लर्न लाइब्रेरी. Okay. Okay, let's take the questions from audiences, and then I will put some questions to all of you. One question is still remaining, which was put by some student yesterday. If we have large number of columns, then what to do? For this problem or for this issue, we have one approach, which programmatically I will cover in tomorrow lecture. But the approach is that if we have many number of columns which is of nominal type, then what we can do, we can replace that column by its occurrence. Okay, so that is another feature which we have not covered till now programmatically, and I just told you about the theoretical part. That programming part I will cover in tomorrow lecture. Same way in the last of the lecture we will cover that point also. जो भी पॉइंट ऐसे बचेगा हम उसको हर लेक्चर में लास्ट में कवर किया करेंगे, कोई छोटे मोटे पॉइंट जो भी होते हैं. ओके, एनी क्वेश्चन? हाँ, यस मंजोत, cat dot codes क्या है? इट इज द एट्रीब्यूट बेसिकली. कैटेगरी क्या है? इट इज द कैटेगरी ऑफ द ऑब्जेक्ट. डॉट कैट से क्या मिला आपको? कैटेगरी मिली, राइट? एंड देन डॉट कोड से यू आर गेटिंग कोड्स ऑफ द पर्टिकुलर कैटेगरी. कैट इज कैटेगरी ऑफ द ऑब्जेक्ट, एंड द ऑब्जेक्ट इज आवर कॉलम. Right, and codes is the particular code. Zero, 1, 2 like this. Ashrey Mehra, this point I covered in yesterday lecture. If you have the countries in a single column, then we can use a dummy variable. We can use a yesterday approach, which was based on pandas get underscore dummies method. Okay, and if you have for example, you have 192 countries in your data set, right? Then it will be a big expansion of your data set. You will be introducing 191 columns in your data set. That is not a good approach, right? If you have 2, 3, 4 values in for a nominal data set, for a nominal attribute of your data set, then you can introduce the dummy variables. Okay, otherwise क्या है, आपने एक different approach अपनानी है. What is that approach? Theoretically, I am telling you that you can replace the value of a particular nominal feature by its occurrence. Okay, right? अदरवाइज क्या है, अगर आप कॉलम इंट्रोड्यूस करोगे तो आपके डेटा सेट का साइज काफी इंक्रीज हो जाएगा. Okay, let me to start. This is question number 1 from my side. How many coefficients do you need to estimate in a simple linear regression model? How many coefficients we need to estimate? Yes, please write answer in chat box. Yes. Suruchi, Sanket, write your answer. Jaspreet Kaur. How many coefficients, कितने coefficients निकाले थे हमने कल सिंपल लीनियर रिग्रेशन में? Devworth.
2.
No, please write in the chat box only. Right. Good. Very good, Sagar. Sagar Deswal, answer is correct. Sanket, answer is correct. No, but you cannot write in this way. It is wrong. One output and one input. We don't have any output coefficient. Output is the value of the feature basically. I was talking beta naught, beta 1 like this. Soumya Rilan, answer is okay. Beta naught and beta 1. Okay, very good. Okay, answer was 2. What was the answer? We need to find out this beta naught and beta 1. And we use these values, these coefficient by using this expression beta naught plus beta 1 into x, and this gives me the output value. You have gone into more depth. Yes, Jan, you are 100% right. So one of the variable is when variables के specific names क्या थे? What we call it as beta naught and beta 1. Technically or mathematically, what are their names? Okay, Shikha, it is okay. And what about the second one? Sanket, answer is wrong. So this beta naught is the y-intercept. What is this y-intercept? For example, my line is this one. So this b naught is the y-intercept. Okay. We have taken this beta naught. So beta naught is this point basically. And what is this beta 1? Beta 1 is the slope of the line. What slope tells to us? Slope, you can say it is the angle which our line makes with the x-axis. Okay. So you need to estimate these beta naught and beta 1. Beta naught is our y-intercept and beta 1 is the slope of the line. Okay. Okay. Now try this next question. Use this expression to find out the answer of this question. Arey, great, Manjot, answer is good. Yogita, answer is good. No. How you can change the slope? How you can change the intercept? Intercept is the beta 1 only. Beta not, sorry. Right. Jaspreet, right. They worth slope and intercept. No. Manjot Singh Suri, answer is not correct. ये क्या लिख रहे हैं आप लोग? Manjot Singh plus B1, right? Good. See, what is the question basically? We have changed x to x plus 1. So you put this change in this expression. So what value we will getting? Beta naught plus beta 1 into x plus 1. So finally we are getting beta naught plus beta 1 x1 plus beta 1. So how the output variable has changed? Originally it was this one and it has changed to this one. So whenever we will take the difference, this term will get cancelled and we will left only this beta 1. You can say it will increase by the slope of the line. Okay. Okay. Now we have the question number 3. Next question. Okay. This question I expect from each of the student. Okay, you have given answer. Palvi, answer is correct. One point I would like to clear, this hx is the function which is used to represent the line. You can say hx is equal to beta naught plus beta 1x. Okay, very good. बहुत अच्छे. गुरजीत सिंह बहुत अच्छे. सौरभ, okay. दीपांशु, answer is correct. And where are the other one? Karthik answer is okay. Shiksha answer is good. Devans okay. Tarun Bhatia answer is correct. Hardik Dua correct. Okay. So the answer of this question is C. Why C? Because this is our error. How the error is calculated, I just told today also, and in last to last lecture, we take the difference of the actual value and the predicted value and then take its square and then sum up these values. So this is our function basically, and we need, this is our error basically, total error, and we need to minimize this error. And technically what you can say, if error is minimum, all our data points using which we created the line, they are very, very, very close to the line. Okay. Okay. Sir, in the second question, it will change the value of the input variable. Obviously, the regression line will also change. No, bache. We are just putting the value of one variable by x plus 1. We are assuming that beta naught and beta 1 are same. You cannot change the value of beta naught and beta 1 by changing only a single value. It will be very difficult to change it. Change may be there if we change the output. That is the prediction case only. Right? And many times plus 1 value, it may be, it will not affect anyone. Okay, this is the last one. Okay, correlation coefficient is used to determine Binodji, just last question. बच्चों ध्यान से देखो क्या लिखा हुआ है. Right, Nitin, right. Jaspreet, Suruchi, right. Now you are giving the right answer. See, what first is telling to us, what A is telling to us, a specific value of Y feature given a specific value of X feature. No, we cannot find the value of one feature by using the correlation coefficient when the value of another feature is given. Same thing is no, it is yes. ये हो ही नहीं सकता. What correlation coefficient is used? It is used to find out the relationship between two features. ओके मैंने आपको एक एग्जांपल दिया था बड़ा सिंपल सर. नॉर्मल लाइफ में हम देखते हैं, डेली लाइफ में जब भी गर्मी बढ़ेगी आइसक्रीम की डिमांड बढ़ेगी, राइट? सो दैट इज दिस रिलेशनशिप इज गिवन बाय द कोरिलेशन कोएफिशिएंट वैल्यू. ओके बच्चों. डॉक्टर अमित, डॉक्टर साहब.
सर बहुत बढ़िया सर.
Sir, any question from your side or participant side?
Sir, I'm happy so that like student so much busy to you engage them so well.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Having you as a great speaker, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for today's session, sir. So
okay,
that's all
Doctor.
for today. If you're still having any question, you can raise your question, please. Dear participant, do you have any question? Okay, thank you so much, Professor Sahab. And thank you for participant for your patience.
For the comment.
Great, sir. Great. Thank you so much.
Okay, sir. Welcome,
Thanks
sir.
for
Welcome.
participants. Thank you so much. So I'm stopping right now.
Okay, sir. Okay.